Boku no. Boku no. Boku no. Boku no. Boku no Hero Academia. Whew. Hi. Brandino Wolfensteino. So we're coming back for another week of Boku no Hero Academia. I think it actually refreshed probably on like Saturday. Whatever. So basically it's the start of the tests for the children in there fighting the teachers, and it seems like it's about to be real. So they have the first couple of teams come up, and they basically how the chapter goes down is they break down each team versus who they're gonna be fighting. And I'm thinking that the way that they broke down these teams are whatever the team's strengths are, they're playing against that so that they can have the teacher be that person that automatically counters the strengths, and then they work on their weaknesses as the team. So we got our first team. I'm like looking down as I'm telling you because I'm not gonna remember all of them. Mickey Mouse versus Ashido and Kaminari. So you have the acid. I think she spits acid. And Electric Kid. And then we have number 13, which it just dawned on me that he's in a space uniform. Apollo 13, number 13. So it's him versus Aoyama, which is like Laser Peen and Raka. Why did she have to be? Well, against the space guy, yes. But did she have to get Peen guy? Like, ugh. Then we have Present Mike, which is that dude with like the crazy bird mohawk. I did it the wrong way. Let's see. Yeah. Crazy bird mohawk. And he's fighting against Koda, which I don't remember where Koda's from. Like, they've introduced these people before, but because they're so secondary to the story that you won't remember them. And Jiro, earphone jack, being all cool with long, Then we have a new, I've never seen this guy before, Ectoplasm, which he basically looks like Dormammu's cooler older brother, basically. Like Dormammu, I'm talking about the villain that's like the smoke villain, because I don't remember his name. I always call him Dormammu because he has that like little mask thing that comes up, and he's versus Ice Frog Girl Froggy and my man Tokoyama, aka Shadow Falco. And then we have Midnight busting all over the place with her versus my man Grapes and Sarah, which I think Sarah was the tape Spider-Man, right? Yeah. Slinging along with Grape Splash. Then we have Snipe, which is basically like this steampunk desperado. Like, this guy looks freaking cool. And he's facing off against Hagukere, which is Invisible Girl, and Shoji, which I think he was the guy with the big hand wings or something. Some of these powers are weird. Then we got Cement Toss. His square face that you see at the end of every chapter, opening that book because they have to have that. Cement Toss versus Sato and Kirishima, Japan. So, and that's basically Red Metal, who likes that Steel Hero, and then basically this dude that looks like if anybody seen that show Ultimate Muscle, or preferably known in Japan as basically that's their duo. So it's like the strong team, the metal. So then you got a Power Loader versus my man Guncalf Ida rev the engine. And Ojiro, which is the guy with the giant tail, which all his power is that he has a tail. So, but I don't know what this guy power loader is. He looks like he's pretty. You know what he makes me think of? Like a Mechazoid T-Rex that would be made out of like a Transformer almost. And then, of course, last but not least, or first of all time, Bakugo and Meteora with All Might. So they gotta all be transported to their own places, and it's funny to see like All Might when he's in like his All Might form, and then he's like trying to make like jokes and he's awkward, but it's like you see him always with that like mad jawline and everything, but he's like. So then they're on the bus and it starts to break down because he's like wondering like why did I get stuck with this team, but like why are these two like the worst at team battles? Like what is going on with these two? For Meteora, I think it's just because he was always believing in All Might, and All Might is usually by himself. But for Bakugo, it's that inferiority thing because he was always the greatest of the great, and he used to like basically like step on Meteora because Meteora didn't have no powers, and he was like, you chump. And that was Meteora's place. But when Meteora finally got the power of One for All, Bakugo's whole mentality just like spiked into like way too much insecurity, and like now he's just angry at everything, which later on in the chapter, after we are listening to Eraser talk about how, each of these people have their strengths and their weaknesses and why these teachers should be blah, 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 which he doesn't actually go fully into it. Then they break down their landscapes, and everybody's at a different region, and the point of the test is you either get in and handcuff the villain, or you understand that you need to regroup and get the hell out of there. Now, the villains aren't going to let you leave, of course. But this is your chance to, 1, discern the situation, 2, make the proper judgment, and then 3, execute. So of course, they have a little couple of in-jokes where, Mohawk doesn't seem like he should be in top tier. He's like, Nanda! And then we have everybody basically, and it was cool because All Might started to explain like what the rules of the thing was, but you see that every other place that the people are, they're each explaining it like it's all of them all saying basically the same carbon copy thing, but you're changing the settings to say that, every teacher is saying this, and they're all basically trying to figure out, are these students really ready? Because, which Eraser says to Todoroki, which I'm thinking Yaoyoi is probably thinking like, what? But what Eraserhead says to him is like, you know what this means. Like you should know what this is. Like trying not to put him on blast that he's already experienced this, but you and the others should know. So you should know how to discern the situation. So then finally, last but not least, All Might saying, well, because I'm so powerful, I'm going to put on these specially made weights to slow me down. Not like it's going to slow me down, though. But but just to give you guys a bit of a handicap, my Detroit punches will be coming with a little less speed, the same amount of force. So it will still break your bones, but maybe I'll miss. And then basically they have like this the one, I think it's like the nurse lady in there like looking at everybody's situation from like a control room. And when the timer goes off, boom, 30 minutes to get out of there. Get out of Dodge. And they go to Ectoplasm's battle, which is Asui. Because I can never say her name fully correctly. I think I'm probably not saying it right, but Asui and Falco. They go they basically are coming in, and they also show Todoroki and Yaoyoi's battle as well. Now the cool thing about Asui and Falco's battle is each of them can kind of go from short range to long range really quickly. So he grabs her up with the shadow and throws her up because they know, like, this guy's way too out of their league. They're not going to be able to do it. And plus, with not enough shadow in the room, he might not be able to create enough, shadow force, which he wouldn't want to create too much because, of course, his like double-edged sword. If it's too much shadow, the thing might go out of control. So throws her up. She communicates, tongue lash, pulls him along, and then they get out of the building like a couple of seconds flat. And it's like, wow, like the communication between, they knew from like the minute that the timer went off that they were like, yo, we're not strong enough for this. If we can escape, we're going to get up out of here. Flat. But then, like, you go back to Todoroki and Yayoi, he's like, keep making little items because as soon as it starts to disappear, then we'll know. And he's planning out a takedown, which they're thinking like, okay, we're stronger than the Eraserhead. But look, he takes away your powers, kind of like how the All for One kind of does. But he's able to take away your power for a limited time. Also kind of like the Hero Killer, which is kind of cool because if you notice the parallels when he's perched up on top of that thing, if you didn't know any better, you would have thought he was the Hero Killer because he's got that same like wrapping and everything. He's got that lean build and it's kind of like crow about to prey down and everything. So then the last people that they zoom in on is Meteora and Bakugo, and of course Mr. Crybaby himself. Don't follow me, and he's all trumping around and making all this noise, and it's like Meteora's like, yo, come on, man. We have to either get out of here or catch him. And this is All Might. He's not. And then Todoroki's like, well, if I just blow him up, punch him in the face a couple times, I got it. All Might ain't nothing. And Meteora's like, but dog, it's All Might. He is number one. I don't care what you think. You haven't been, because Meteora knows what a real battle is like. You haven't been on the battlefield. He's been there for years. How you think you're going to step to number one? And he's like, what are you saying? I don't like how he just cracks him like that. Like, he literally just backhands Meteora out of nowhere. Meteora being like the battered housewife over here, trying to tell him what to do, but, can't really get through to him. They're both yelling and All Might finds them. And it's like, oh, Bakugo, why are you such a bitch? Why are you... You make everything worse. But you could clearly see that, all this rage and everything is merely because of the insecurity. So the chapter ends basically with All Might finding them, and they're thinking like, how are we going to work together? Who knows? But all I know is that Bakugo needs to let the reins go. For once. I mean, good God, just let somebody have their shine. Even though he did kind of say, oh, well, just because you think you're some half-decent... compliment? half-decent hero doesn't mean you get to talk to me like that. So I'm like, okay, Bakugo acknowledges that, Meteora done came up 0 to 100. You know what I'm saying? He came up from nothing. Started from the bottom. So many Drake puns in here, back to back. Lethal Weapon. But it's just like, Bakugo, yo, shut up, dog. Just let somebody shine. Like, come on. So that's all for my review. Hope you like it. Comment down below. Always point to the wrong side. Subscribe all over here. And don't let the fact that Bakugo is just, he might be the main reason why this team can't function get you down. Because the dawn always rises on a new day. That thing would be to subscribe. You're hungry when you're through. I'm just saying, Bakugo ain't gonna catch up to Meteora. But that's... So, Boku no Hero, last week's. Toriko 341, which I labeled it as 141. I'm so sorry if anybody has ever seen it. It is labeled 141, but I changed it just now. What was I thinking? Ansatsu, which will be up before this. Nanatsu, Attack on Titan, which I'm still waiting for a chapter to drop. I'm surprised they haven't dropped one yet. Like, it's been forever. And actually, medium level of my stomach. Actually, I'm going to be having a new review, or 2 new reviews. They're going to be kind of tiny. They're going to be really short. Actually, no, they won't. Radiant and Fire Brigade. Yeah, picking up more work, right? Check it out.